So, I brought back the IS7. Let's do a focus. It's the Tier 10 Russian heavy tank that follows the T10, the IS3 line. It's got a fantastic gun. Trouble is, its penetration is only 250 on standard rounds, but 250 is enough. And this thing is the face-hugging king of all tanks. Now, just to point out, the fire chance is 15%, and the engine's in the back. It's got independent gearboxes under the tank. The gun, there we go, 122mm. And the tracks, it's a pretty fast turning tank, to be honest. The turret's really not that quick, to be honest. The radio, for all the people that want to hear the screams of the enemy when you shoot them, it's a mobile fucking ammo rack. And there's the crew, all safely tucked up in the Russian Joseph Stalin's moustache turret. Now, just a quick run through the armour. So the side skirt, that's the armour of the tracks. The side skirts is classed as spaced, so if you get hit on those, it more than likely is a ricochet. If you're angled well, that plate there on the top is only revealed when you turn the turret sideways. The rear is not that well sloped and not that well armoured, so don't get shot in the backside. There's the rest of the spaced armour sides. That front pike nose, if you keep it hull down, is impenetrable. It's instant ricochet unless they fire heat straight through you. Cheeks of the turret are amazingly strong, and the front of the turret, if you've ever fired at one of these things, you will already know you ain't putting a hole in that. Not a chance. So the gun, the reloads are, it's relatively good for the caliber of the weapon. 250 pen, the 325 heat or APCR is really good, and the explosive rounds that pack a punch into the thinly armoured targets that you might fire at. So, without further ado, really, without looking further around the tank, we'll go to the equipment that I run as a vertical stabilizer, gun rammer, and vents to improve everything, but you can change that out for optics or a spool liner or something if you wish. And the crew skills are some pretty important ones to have on this tank. For one, if you, in my opinion, after 6 sensor repairs, safe stowage because of it being a mobile ammo rack. Another good one is armourer, because even though you've got an amazing turret, and if they shoot the gun, you know, it saves you the repair. Firefighting's always good, as is preventative maintenance. I do run food on this tank as well. So, without further ado, we'll go to a gameplay. It's my first game back in the tank for about 6 months. I've already had one pen into a motherland that chose to try and challenge me to get to my position. I wanted to get hull down. Now, where I'm going enables you to flank the right hand side of the enemy. It is completely safe from enemy artillery, completely safe from all of the tank destroyers, and you can attack anything that tries to come down the road here from the right hand side. You can attack anything from over there. So first things first, as you'll see, my side scraping my rear end, he's never ever going to pen that, but I do get penned by the chieftain because he gets the chance to shoot me in the real backside. So what on earth was that ridiculous shot that I pulled off there? A snapshot that actually penned him. Anyway, without talking too much about the game, let's talk about the IS7, because it's real. It was a heavy tank that was developed in 1948, right? It weighed 68 tons, it was thickly armoured and armed with that. Oh, it's a 130mm cannon, there you go. It's the largest and heaviest member of the IS family, and the armour was engineered in a fashion to the IS3. So if you're used to playing an IS3 and a T10, which isn't quite as well, for its tier for tier, is not as well armoured as an IS3, it's still good, then you'll know how to play this tank. So when you're shot at frontally, the extreme angle of the pike nose results in much likelihood of a ricochet, as you see. Now, thus the armour protection could be enhanced without having to use excessive amounts of material. So it was thin, 120mm, but sloped. So, however, if the pike nose was shot at a sideways angle, you'd not have the relative thickness high enough to ricochet a shell. So in spite of its weight, it was easy to drive due to its numerous hydraulic assists. That was all of the independent gearboxes you saw under the tank. Now the loaders noted that the IS7 was comfortable and that the auto loader was easy to use. It was also able to achieve a top speed of 60 km an hour thanks to a 1050 horsepower motor, which it does have in the game, giving it to a power to rate ratio of 15.4 horsepower per tonne, a ratio superior to most contemporary mediums. Its armour was not only immune to the Jagdtiger's 12.8 cm Pak 44, but was even proof to its own 130mm. So if a Russian got pissed off with a Russian, there was no way the Russian was going to pen the Russian. So due to reasons unknown, most likely because of the considerable issues arising from its mass, i.e. bridges, rail transport, blah 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 blah, the tank never reached the production line. Only one prototype was ever made, and it's in a museum in Russia. The T10, other than that though, is different. It was made, and so was the IS-3, as we all know, one of the most famous tanks ever in the Cold War era. So anyway, back to the game. I got cheesed with this pattern in the end, to be frank. I mean, I can understand that position in some way. It's to try and bait people into that tank destroyer. But other than that, what's it really for? Because it's only really effective when pretty much half the team are dead. I'm not so sure that he fancied or noticed that an IS7 was kicking around. Nice high roll there. Yeah, I don't think he expected an IS7 to pull the play that I did, but hey, you know, not everybody's salty, are they? So this next shot is also effing ridiculous. Another reason that I run a vertical stab. I'm not going super fast, as you see, because my driver's been killed. I'm not going to repair that so late in the game, there's no point. So we pull off this shot on the move. Hey! And that's it. That medium gets killed, and that's game over. Be quite honest, if it was easy. That's a square, rounded, 55 damage, first game back, 75% crew. 67,000 credits, all standard rounds, 2220 blocked, 1050 assisted, a second class game. And it can only get better, I suppose. But there you go, that's the IS7 in a nutshell. Thanks for watching, see you on the next one.